Everyone, I'm back again. Um, I know that I have lots to share with you all on materials today. I don't know if I'm going to start reading any information. I'm going to try my best to keep myself, in a sense, within an hour to speak, because I know that um, some have said that our attention span is not so um, long as it. I don't think it ever really was. Even as a child, it was never that long. But I guess even as adults, their attention span is not that long. And I don't understand why, because I mean, I know that we can sit during a 3 hour movie, depending on the movie. I know war movies, the maybe not even war movies. There was the Titanic, and that was what, like, a long, a long recording. But we put we put a lot of energy to what we want to pay attention to. So honestly, I hope that even if I go past an hour, that you guys are still on fire for wanting to hear more uh, from Father. Because a lot of things that I'm going to be sharing is it's not my own. Things that I'm bringing to you is me studying with Father, in a sense, in front of you, but at the same time hoping that you come along to studying with me for yourself, because this is what it is to grow in Him and to listen to one another. Iron sharpening iron. Of course, I know right now it would be kind of considered one sided, because I'm not going fully live to hear remarks or comments, or to answer any questions. I don't feel prepped for that yet. But right now, because of the fact that and the reason why I already shared this the last time I recorded myself, is because I don't feel really fully ready to answer questions, or to hear what comments might come my way, whether good or bad. Because I'm still studying. I still feel like I don't have it fully down myself, even though, yes, I am part of a Bible study group in the academy that I go to. And like I said, I have a poster of the ministers that I follow and I listen to, because they help me, and they too, they stay learning themselves. So I love the fact that I can get together with fellow brothers and sisters, and hear to know what I'm supposed to be doing with Father. Maybe my understanding at one point wasn't as, you know, well, and then when I hear them speak about a part where it's like, I never saw it that way. But because they give me all the tools of where they pulled it from, well, you can't argue it. So then therefore that's where you get sharpened. That's when you do better from the stuff that you hear, and that's why we're not supposed to forsake the assembling with one another, so that way we can, better ourselves in our relationship with Father. So, getting to I guess I'm going to share the picture that I did, that I told you I was going to talk to you about, the ministers that I listened to. And I've made this poster because I went around to a couple of houses here where I live, just trying to reach out. I want to reach out to all the neighbors, and family, if I run into family as well, friends in my own little town here, you know because the stuff that I'm learning, I can see that there's a lot of us that are not following God, as a lot of people still know Him by, rather than Father. um, we don't honor Him the way we're supposed to. And I've come out from a lot of the small town denominations that are here. Some of them being closely related, so it's not like and it's not like an extreme difference from a lot of different denominations. They all kind of even split themselves and just made up a new one on the side, for whatever differences. And that's more or less where it's at, where all these churches have come from because of the separation of not really diving down into what the scriptures are truly saying. If they even give credit to the scriptures, half of the time now people are just branching off of each other, just going off based on what they feel is okay and acceptable by Jesus Christ, and they just want to love him their way. Like I said, it's like a spiritual thing that they feel to honor him by. But he was always, when he came, and when we start seeing how he quoted so much from the Old Testament, showed us his Father, he was always trying to get us back to that Old Testament that people have said are done away with. And so, me coming to this point from where I was, now I have a heart to be that disciple that Yeshua is trying to get me to come out of my shell and put myself out there and speak to my neighbors locally and as well with you all that I'm trying to connect to. Not, I know I'm not live, so I'm not connecting with, but connect to a lot of people just to show you all what I've come to know and to encourage you to test it for yourself. That's more or less it. We can't always go off by thinking that we're okay where we're at if you're not really searching what Jesus Christ, Yeshua by his actual name, has wanted you to live by. You can be in error, and that's going to be a problem down the road when Judgment Day does come. What excuse will you have to give him, for not testing your own self if just believing was just enough? But anyways, to go on, this are the ministers. I don't know if you can see them really well, but this one up here is Pastor Bailey. And the reason why I'm showing you their photos is because a lot of the stuff that I've learned has come from these men right here in my life. I give them a lot of credit for my growth. I always keep an account of those that have helped me along my journey because it's just, I don't know, it's just something of a treasure to see where Father pulled you out and how he pulled you out and who he used in your life to get you to the point of where you're at with him now, and you're still making memories with new people that come your way to just keep dropping in, golden nuggets of Father's word to just enhance your understanding with him. It's just, Father is fun. He can be very fun. And sadly, a lot of us have been geared to think that God was cruel. He's cruel. Yes, there are those points in history that we're going to read about where it's like, ugh, ouch, in some ways with Father, but God has rules. He's the one that made us, and he can make it go the way he wants. He's a God. He's not a mere man. He's someone to reverence, and it's his way or the highway. Just like a lot of us that have rules of our own houses. So house rules. But anyway, so going back, this one is Pastor Bailey. He's I don't know, I see him as like our spiritual father that has kind of like helped a lot of us come out from where we once were to where we're at. He has so much information. He's been doing this for years. And then you have right here Pastor Marcus Da Costa. He's from, oh, okay, this Pastor Bailey's from North Carolina. Pastor Marcus Da Costa, he's from London, in the UK. And then this one is Pastor Eke, and he's from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. And then down here is my husband and I. We have our own fellowship here in Grant County, New Mexico, Baird, New Mexico. And so all these men are very, very knowledgeable in the Word, and they practice what they preach. You know, they have never shied away from speaking strong truth and sharing things of that they've erred by and what they've had to come out. So they're great encouragers for your walk, you know. And there was many more before I even got to Pastor Bailey, before he really enhanced my growth. Pastor Pastor Marcus, he has an academy that he's the one that I joined to grow, you know, grow in as a little classroom, in a sense, like a classroom setting. And so that's why I'm stepping out, even as I speak once again, to try to come and start speaking and doing what it is that Yeshua has asked us to do, to be disciples and go out and teaching the nations. He's a great encourager. All of them have. But because I'm under him right now in the academy, he's really getting us to sharpen ourselves and even teach within the academy ourselves. You know, he gives us assignments and stuff like that. So they're really great men, you know. So yeah, I don't know if you can see the information. If you would like to go and find what I've put here, to go and spot them out yourselves. They all are married ladies, so just in case any of you are single and wondering if they're bachelors, they're not. Each one is married. Of course, the one in the bottom is mine. And so, but I just thought to put them out there so this way you grow in your relationship and in your connection to Father. You know, that's where it's at, the important part. Okay, so they're gonna help you. They can help you if you wish to go. And yeah, and they're also on Facebook. So if you even want to request their friendship, they will accept your friendship. You know. But let's carry on. There's a lot of materials that I don't I don't know how often I'll be pulling from each one to get to a point that I'm thinking on, or that I have something to say towards. A lot of them I don't use strongly yet myself. There is a tool, an app that I have been shown that I kind of go to that one the most now, because it's just like it's there, it's more convenient. And you know, a lot of us, sadly, we are addicted to our phones. So there is the Blue Letter Bible that I got shown, and that's the one that I more or less run to. Um, Testing it from when you're on the app itself through your computer, and then going to the app that would be on your phone. Sometimes the computer, it pulls up much more definition to the scriptures, the words that you want to kind of figure out, more extensive. So it brings in a lot more definition, as opposed to like the one on your phone, the app there. It gives you enough, but it doesn't give you a lot, or it just gives you just enough, if that makes sense. But anyways, let's see if I can pull that up just to kind of show what it looks like. Um, don't know. Okay, well, right here I have my husband. You can see him in the back right there. But these are the apps that I have. I don't know if you could see them. Okay, and so the Blue Letter Bible would be right there, if you can see where my finger's trying to point at. Okay, so that's as best as I can. I'm trying to show you things. I don't have like pictures. I could take pictures and then have like a little screen on the side of me showing these things. But I'm still learning how to, like I said, use devices. I'm not keen in them. There's a lot of times I have to ask my husband for help, or if I'm stressing when it comes down to teaching a lesson, getting Pastor Marcus's help on there. I'm really slow at learning like technology. So eventually, I hope to bring in much more things to have on the corner to show much more bigger picture for you to have a visual, because I know that helps me, a visual learner, everything that can sharpen, um, just to help, it helps. Okay, so now to get into the materials that have been very beneficial and that have helped to in this walk, because sometimes we, like I said, we can have our Bibles, and there's so much information in here, okay? Lots of information. But half of the time everybody just wants to stick to the New Testament, you know, as small as it is. Let's see where it's at. Okay, starting at Matthew. This whole book, this whole Bible, and everyone just wants to stay within this little portion of the word. And it's fine and all, but there's all this, and this, if you're reading just this, you're not going to know where these that you're reading of are quoting from in here. They're quotes. They're quoting from in here. They show that this was very much alive, what was taking place in this section of the Bible. So you can't throw this out. A lot of ministers today are saying that this is just history. It's not. These weren't just making it a history book, a history lesson when they were writing it. They were saying this was a part of them. They were living it. And they showed how they were living it by bringing back Father's word, all back to us. So it's a book. It's not a little pamphlet. But anyways, of course, there's the Bible that you need. I'll go into like where you would look more exclusively for the definitions to the stuff you read. Because, like I said, our English Bibles were transliteration, transliteration to transliteration from a translation. So we have to get back to the original context, the original way of thinking from back when, so you can see what it is to speak God's language, Father Yehovah. And like I said, there's material out there to show you exactly what his name is. You just read Lord and God in just this English word, but without looking and diving into the and especially if you don't have one that says a study Bible. A study Bible gives you, maps and it gives you the definitions, like a dictionary, like a glossary. So all those things are very important to really understanding God's true language, his true speech. You know, it'd be like someone that you, like speaking on romance, I guess. If there was someone that you were interested, but they're from a different area, and you're trying to connect, you would like to connect with them, and yet you see that their information shows that they're a single person, and you're really, mesmerized by them. So now you want to kind of look into how to speak their language. It'd be kind of like that. You go and you start learning their language just to try to have that interaction with them. Father's the same. He had his own way of talking, his own way of saying what he desired. And that's very important if we want to claim to be, you know, children of Abraham. The songs that we're taught in our Christian background, or those that are still part of the Christian mentality. You get taught these things that we can claim Abraham as our father, and his blessings and this and that. But there's much more in what you have to know in order to claim that. There's just much more to understand in order to claim that. Um, so, anyways, we'll get. I hope to get much more stronger in um, um, showing what's needed for us to learn by, especially me, because like I said, I'm learning as I'm trying to teach at the same time. So I'm teaching myself as I'm talking with you all. Okay, so that's the Bible. That's important, of obviously. And then we have this one, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I don't know too much on it, but my husband says it's the oldest um, Bible that we have, the oldest out of all of them, I guess. And this one has certain material or certain books that have been uh, discarded. They're no longer. Why that is, I haven't the slightest clue. But this one's also important. Okay, then I know a lot of people don't give credit to this one. Um, and like I said, I love my teachers. I really do. I appreciate every single one of them. But there's certain things that we're not on the same page in certain points, but there is still love and respect regardless, um, towards differences in opinions, towards what's still applicable for today, what is still considered good source material for your understanding of the word. And I still give credits to the Apocrypha. And so that to me is an important one. And the reason why I'm sharing these with you is so this way, if you feel to go and buy your own stuff and you want to follow along with me, these are just books that I might just, because I'm gonna read them, whether whether you're following me or not. Of course, I'm not live, so I this is me just trying to grow in my understanding with Father, and just putting it out there as to what materials I'll be reading. So it's all up to the individual. Um, you'll make your relationship with Father how you make it. I just know that He wants us to have that relationship, and in order to do that, you have to come into this these knowledges, this word of His to understand Him. He's a library. you know. And so just like we take care of our regular bodies, we're always looking at the next health trend out there, or what good materials of clothing to put on ourselves. All these things we look into for the benefit of our own body, our own. Please close the door. Um, Sorry, my son just came home. Um, all to all to take care of ourselves, so we look into these things, we go and buy what is needed to put them into practice, to try certain things that are going to help us to get well. We try all these things. I mean, we even seek out, professionals, those that they have their own type of counsel to give us aid by the stuff that they've studied. So if we can put desires into our own selves, then how much more you should put for the understanding of your spirit man, what Father has breathed into you that should be in one accord with the Creator. Sorry, everybody's coming home at this moment. Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave it. Um, so your spirit man, you need to build that person within you, because once the flesh is no longer, and the kingdom comes down and your spirit man is the one that's going to be living, what you fed it by the materials that you had to try to uh, gain that that hopeful entrance to be in the kingdom. That's what's going to matter at the way end. Your spirit man, is it going to have a chance to live, or is it going to die? None of us truly knows, but I know that in order to help that spirit man, you have to go into Father's word and all these materials that are there to help you grow in Him. Okay, so that takes care of those books. Let's hear. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot to share. This one, it's not necessarily like something for you to like. I would have to say all books are good material for you to just get strengthened by it. I was gonna say it's just not something like where it's dealing with the benefits for what the do's and don'ts of Father, like the commandments kind of stuff. But this book, I'm sharing, gives you encouragement to stay in the walk with Father, to hold on to that strength that you have now, and to have a gratefulness to those that from back when they they had it worse off. Yes, a lot of us are at, odds with one another because we have differences in opinions because of, sadly, lack of an understanding, lack um, of knowledge, the lack of knowledge, where a lot of, like I said, a lot of people don't feel that the Old Testament is for today, and some that are still trying to show that it is, and some just want to close off their ears, and so that puts, enmity between all of us. It's really sad, rather than just examining one another and seeing, is this really so? Some people, when they're sharing, it's not because they're trying to tell you that they know better than you, or like that they have the knowledge, and they're trying to show you something, like, are you sure what you have is good enough, or what I'm trying to show you by what I have, are you sure it's not something you're in need of? But a lot of times we don't examine one another. We just want to say, well, that's your belief. and leave me alone. And so you just let it alone. But that's what we have, you know, at odds with one another. But when you read stuff like this, those that fought for the faith back then to show that, you know, God's ways are still in existence for today, um, they give you encouragement to keep on going, no matter what comes. And then, of course, you look at the example of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the one that said that, you know, what he went through, you'll go through. So he was just another one to look at. But these are the ones that believed in him and they fought the good faith and died for it. That's one good one. I don't know if I'll ever read that one, but like I said, until Father calls me home, I know that I'm supposed to just keep on trying my best to share my insights, my way I'm where I'm going with him, to try to be an encourager for the next person that is trying to get started and where to go. You'll never have it fully down. You know, we all keep know in a sense we all still keep knowing in part until someone comes along to sharpen it. So we all still know in part, and that's why we come together as a body, so that way we can gain more understanding to get much more sharper with Father. This one is a new one that I bought, so I'm pretty excited. It's a chronological study Bible. This one kind of tries to put things in an orderly way of reading the material, because from your regular study Bible, um, certain things in there are not in chronological order, you know, as where a good example would be like the book of Job. I think my husband was saying that that one should be somewhere towards the end of Genesis, not necessarily at the end of Genesis, but somewhere in between, like within Genesis, would be the time we would start reading the book of Job, because what was happening in Genesis is what was also happening during the time of Job. So you have stuff like that. So books like that try to come and put things much more in a context, kind of like during this time period to this time period, these things were kind of happening around the same time. So you kind of get a big picture. It's a big world out there. So Father has a lot of us to work with and to write about. That's that. Let's see here. See, and then you have books like this, where you have the Old Testament quotations found in the New Testament. So things like that can also help, where you can see where, you know, things were being quoted from the old into the new, so that way the 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 Old Testament can start coming alive to you. You can start seeing that God's still working today. Okay, then you have the Strong's Concordance. And this one will show you, I'll just read, I don't know if you can see the words there, what it has. Okay, so you have the complete and updated Hebrew and Greek dictionaries, computer-generated text for highest accuracy, proper names cross-reference to modern translations. So you see proper names, things that you would see in the English, it'll show you exactly what the proper name would have been to them. So like when I tell you Jesus Christ is not really his actual name. You won't look at me like, what? His proper name would be Yeshua, the Messiah. Then you have Nelson's exclusive topical index of the Bible, and then words of Yeshua, Messiah, highlighted for easy identification. So reading everything that your book has to offer is really important. Get to know your book. Get to know what it is that's in there, just like when we were in school and our teachers used to tell us, okay, get your history book and turn to page such and such, and you would go to the table of contents to find the title, to find the page. So a lot of times we just want to get straight into the meat of things, but sometimes when you read the introduction of your books, um, what else is there? The preface, all those things in the beginning prior. The one that compilated or put the book itself together for your grasping, for your understanding, to their aiding you, you get an understanding ahead of how that person put this material together. They'll have it in their introduction, their preface, they'll have it in there for you to read, how to understand the material that they put together for your benefit. Okay, so that's important. And then another good one is the Vine's Complete Expository Dictionary. It really works well, just like the Strong's that I just showed you. And this one I like it because it gives an example of how you can use that material when you start getting in there. It's too small, or I would read it out loud for you guys, but it gives like the word. I don't know if you can see like the word. Then, of course, if it's a noun or verb, and then you would have right here, it's dealing with the Greek. The Greek. So when you're reading about love in the Greek, that would be the word that you would be looking at. And then it gives you the page, if you can see the page. I'm trying my best, everybody, to show you these things. So see on top where it says English word, then it gives you the English translation of the word. Okay, so follow the lines. Then you have word as it appears in original Greek. Okay, so it's original writing. And then you have the parts of speech of what that word is going to be. Is it just a person, place, or thing? Right here it's giving you, it's a verb, so it's an action word. Then you have your Strong's preface number, where to look it up in your Strong's concordance. Then you have where the word appears, and then how the word is used. So see, all this stuff, these instructions, help to aid how to read your Bible, how to understand what it is that Father is saying through it all. So it all plays out to your comprehension, so you can understand. You can gain a sharper relationship with him, a closer connection to him, because he has his own way of speaking. And these were written many, 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 many years ago. And so, in order to understand him from how he was back then, to put it into practice for today, you got to know this information. It took me a long time to understand it myself. And I'm still, like I said, I am still learning. Okay, so I shared the Strong's Concordance with you. That was the Vines. Next and last one that I kind of hope to get into so I can start, studying with Father alongside you if you come along, is this book right here is very important. Bible, maps, and charts. You know, like I said, read what it has. It includes reproducible maps and um, charts, Old and New Testaments, full color. You know, all these things can help you to get a better understanding of what took place way back when. And so this way, history won't repeat itself by many things that had to, be destroyed and stuff like that. But you get an understanding of what took place and what caused Father's wrath and what Father expects out of us, so it doesn't happen to us, in the same. Because each era, he's trying to call us to him. you know. But anyways, I hope that helps. Let me see what time it is. But like I said, I was going to try my best to try to keep it within an hour and to just come and share what my um, hopes are. My hope is to just show what it is and how much effort it takes to grow in Father, but to also be an encourager. So this way you can see, like, I don't have everything down. I don't, but I'm trying my hardest. And these things are needed to show Father that, you know what, I want you. I want to be your child. I want to do what is expected of me if I hope to gain entrance into your kingdom. And that's what he wants. He wants us to do it by showing everyone out there that he still lives today. He doesn't want us to be embarrassed of him. He wants us to walk boldly that we have him right next to him, trying to do exactly what his materials are, towards understanding his kingdom, as it is in heaven. That's what we say. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We want that same ruling that he already has going up there, that's gonna come. We want it to come here. And if we want it to come here, then we got to know exactly what pleases a God, what pleases a king, because we know it's a kingdom up there. So, anyways, I really hope that, this encourages you. I hope this makes you want to join me as I'm studying and to gain an understanding for yourself. It's not to say that just because I don't have it live right now that I never will, to want to try to engage with everybody live. But it's not to say that I won't answer anybody that would seek me out. So honestly, I'm on Facebook. If anybody wishes to talk with me, I do the messaging on the side that through Messenger on Facebook. I'm also in the Academy, HOI AC. That's where I also can be found. You can also join our study group there and be a part of us growing and learning. You know, it that's I can be found, and I can hear anybody out as I'm studying, and you have a comment to say, or you wish to sharpen me with your own insight. I'm I'm easy to be found. You can always find me in those locations, and I will talk with anybody, and I will go and search what you might have much more materials than I do. But anyways, I just wanted to show those things, and what it takes, what it has shown me, what it takes to really show Father I want to be a part of Him. Okay, so I try to bring in examples. Like even when I'm teaching my children, I try to bring in examples of what I've seen through the operations of the world to kind of give that same understanding through what Father's same ways the kingdom is in operation in heaven. We have this way of living not by our own thought. All this originated from Father. He's the one that established heaven and earth, and we're supposed to keep in line with Him. But sadly, a lot of people have let the enemy rule this place. But because he does like to have, he's like a copycat in a sense. That's the way I put it. With things that operate exactly, that's why I can bring out these examples to help aid. The only difference is that he rebels in his own type of way of taking the ownership and trying to twist things up to where Father is not getting the credit for the operations. And then plus, of course, there's a lot of organizations today that do not fear Father. So, but either which way, there is one and the same kind of operations, the same kind of things that work kind of the same way. So, for an example to bring here by what I'm trying to say is those that try to go to a different country. If you're going to move to a different country, you have to go and learn the ways of that country. You have to go and get an education and try to get to become a citizen there. So this is basically the same way that I can try to explain it. All these materials to learn from to enhance your relationship with Father is to try to basically understand the way He's going to be governing, the way you would be a citizen in the kingdom, and what is going to be expected and required of you as a citizen of heaven, heaven that's going to come down, a kingdom that's going to come. So anyways, I hope this has helped. I hope, like I said, I'm all in hopes for everything. I hope you follow along, and I just hope to be an encourager, to show you that I'm still learning, and to encourage you to get it before you miss that opportunity, that opportune moment when Yeshua comes to say who gets to make it with Him and who don't. But anyways, I hope you all have a blessed day. When I get started, when I put another video out, I'm going to try my best to do the Bible maps and charts. So like I would deal with, for example, of course I'm going to talk on the introduction, and then of course it's going to talk about the Pentateuch. We'll get into all these words and all that, the Old Testament, but I want to kind of do maps and charts and then go into the material of where we'll be reading it about. So like if we get into Genesis, I'll be reading on Genesis, and then everything that's needed for us to know about the book of Genesis before we before we're getting into the book of Genesis. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm hoping for us to like learn stuff from this Bible Bible maps and charts, to get an understanding before we get into um, the Bible of Genesis and see what took place, um, as we read it in there. So, see, and then we'd get to the next one, and that would be Exodus, of course. And so, before getting into Exodus, so I go back and forth just so we kind of, well, it's me studying. So this way I get a full on understanding of where it was at, what time periods it was happening, and then, okay, boom, I kind of have a background of where it was from, and more or less what time frame, and then we can get into the material itself. So that's more or less what I'm trying to goal, as I study alongside you, um, with Father. So, okay, well, I I want to just end in prayer, because that's what I've been encouraged and shown how to like go about speaking, and always bringing Father. I should have brought him in the beginning and closing out, but I really don't. I know a lot of might say I don't really have to. It's just studying. It's not like really coming together, but I want to keep it going. I think we should, like it says, pray without ceasing, and I think you should always pray, regardless if you're alive or not. And this way, you can see that my heart and my prayers are with you all, because they are. I even though I don't know a lot of you, or I'm not talking with any of you, I still know that Father has a love for all of us here, and that He wants us to have everybody in mind. So just because I don't know you out there, doesn't mean that I'm not praying for what I can see the Word wants us to be praying for everybody. And that's for a stronger connection to Father, and for His favor to be upon all of you guys. And so that's important. Okay. Father Yehovah, I come before you. I want to lift up this journey that I'm going to be taking with you once again. I know I had started, then I had stopped. You know all my reasons why, and I've shared that out with everybody as to why. But now that I'm coming back, Father, I just pray that you help me along the way. I know that I don't have to come knowing everything. I don't have to come already, how do you say it, like already like with things known what to say, or practice. I don't have to practice what needs to be said. I just need to come showing my relationship with you is just, it's where it's at, and I'm just trying to gain an understanding of you, so I don't have to come all prepped and stuff. It's nice when we can, but I know that you give us the words that we're in need of when it comes down to speaking on you. You give us what it is you want us to say. So therefore, you, Father, actually take over. So that's what I'm trying to do, Father. I'm just trying to put myself out there and showing everybody that it's not hard to have a connection with you, and just to let you flow in what you're giving me to say. I pray that those that do, come along and studying with me, even though I don't know that they're there, that they have that encounter with you, and that they grow stronger in in hunger with you, that they're wanting to learn more and know what it is uh, to be that child that we hope to be called, when seeing that we're chosen by you, now to see what it is to obey a father, to obey you, or to look at it as trying to be that citizen that's going to hopefully get blessed and hear, well done, my faithful servant, but it comes with knowing what it is that you expect out of us. But Father, you want to look at us as your children, and you want us to come to you like a father. So may many know that you are still alive today and that you're just hoping for all of us to return home to you. But just like every home has rules, you, Father, also have those rules. So I pray that everybody's hunger comes to that point of wanting to know what it is to be a child unto you. And Father, help them, be with them. I don't know the things that they go through during the week, but I just hope that they stay encouraged, not to um, get weary in doing good when they come to start knowing you, to start showing everybody out there that you are with them. And this way, while they're out there, more and more people start noticing the change. And if they start to feel, the pressures of the world, of where they're trying to get them back to being their old ways, let that be the indication that they are starting to show that they are genuinely children. They're being that light. They're being called to you, because darkness don't like light. So if they're feeling oppressions, then it's actually a good sign. It's a good thing. They're starting to see that they are representing you right, because the other side don't like it. So may they stay encouraged at all times, Father. So I thank you, Father, and I just pray that what I share, Father, um, I get stronger in understanding, my own understanding, because I don't always have it down, Father. So please, Father, increase my understanding with you as I take this journey once again with you. In Yeshua's name, I love you, Father. Amen. Have a blessed week. I don't know how often I'll come to reading. Kind of hoping that it'll be a once a week thing, because I know that sometimes I get very busy. I do have my Wednesday class on, in the academy that I just told you about on Wednesdays, and then once our service with Father comes in, the Sabbath service, the day that we should be gathering with him, comes in on around Friday to Saturday, all day Saturday. So I wouldn't be doing that on Friday and Saturday, because I usually get prepped for that time. So I'm just seeing possibly once a week. But if not, who knows? If you follow along, you'll get the little notifications to when something new comes by. But I'm hoping to do it maybe twice, just so that way when I'm reading, I don't lose what was said prior. So I'm hoping to do it more often than just once. But if not, at least you can always go back to the previous video to catch up to what I would be showing or speaking on with the one that gets posted. That's by the new one. But anyways, have a blessed time. Be encouraged, and just know that Father Yehovah and his son Yeshua, they both love you, and they're wanting you to come to knowing them. Be blessed.